All right, good Friday morning, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke, joined by my colleague, First Alert Meteorologist Jeff Desnoyers. Not a lot of weather to talk about on a Friday. A few chances for rainfall as we go through the weekend. Not a washout. Repeat that twice. Not a washout, like an umpire at the Trash Panda game. Safe, Trash Panda win, and what's the countdown up to now?
I think it's like 27 days until the home opener for the Pandas, 28 days depending if you count today or not. But yeah, can't wait. Want to start feeling a little bit more like baseball season though.
Yes, and we've got some warmer temperatures on the 10-day, but it is just after 10:30. This is Weather Extra. Really like what we've done with the place, jazz it up a little bit. And for those of you that joined us yesterday, we had some audio issues, so sorry about that. But mostly good news on that 10-day forecast. Here we are. We are going to talk about potholes in a little bit, and we're going to talk about daylight saving time beginning too. But first, let's get to your forecast here on this Friday. We go out to beautiful Decatur, the River City right now, 56 degrees. Actually seeing a bit more blue sky peeking through than I thought we would. Now the cloud cover will continue to push in as we go through the rest of your morning into the afternoon. We check our temperatures. Now briefly we dipped into the low to mid 30s, but it shows you how impressive the warming is. Even with the absence of a lot of that March sunshine, temperatures have warmed up from the 30s to now currently in the mid to upper 50s. And it all has to do with the direction of the wind. And that wind today was out of the east and southeast. And now we're seeing a bit more of a south-southwesterly component. These are some pretty breezy winds. And I feel like that's one thing we just have not been able to escape for this entire work week has been the wind. Now, we're not talking about the crazy winds we had Tuesday and Wednesday that were gusting 50+ miles per hour, but still a steady breeze out there out of the south and southwest, about 10 to 15. And looking at your wind forecast for the remainder of the day, it's actually going to get progressively breezier. We'll have some gusts, maybe flirting with 25, upwards of 30 miles per hour. So if you've got some outside plans today, dealing with that wind yet again, we're going to go right down to your weekend forecast, or we'll hit you with your hour-by-hour forecast really quick. Temperatures today warming into the middle 60s with the wind. Clouds continue to push in. The rainfall will hold off until later this evening, and that's good news if you've got anything going on. It's a Friday. We want to enjoy some time here. 60 degrees for your Saturday with nighttime rain showers in the forecast. There's a small chance this evening that we see a few sprinkles into maybe about 5 a.m. tomorrow, but it should be gone. We'll actually see some early sunshine for your Saturday, dropping down to 41 Sunday morning. I think we've got another round of rain coming in Saturday night into Sunday morning, and the most rain we see for the entire weekend is actually going to be Sunday night into Monday morning. Don't want to think about that Monday morning commute, but that's probably when we're going to see the majority of our rainfall. So let's go through the weekend hour by hour now, taking a look at future radar and satellite. Once it pops up here, 66 degrees come for this afternoon. We've got those breezy winds, but as you put this in motion, you notice we actually have a weak clipper system. So just a fast moving front, doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, but it will be the reason our temperatures are slightly cooler for the weekend compared to what we have today. But a few isolated showers around midnight into the very early morning hours of Saturday. Tomorrow morning, temps are great for your morning walk or run or taking the dogs out, 40s and low 50s. Early sun goes away, though. Clouds continue to push in, and this is the reason we're talking for mainly nighttime showers. It's the rain moving in late Saturday evening with at least some scattered coverage coming in overnight into early Sunday morning. Sunday morning, heading out for church worship services here. We've got temps in the low 40s, but you might have to pop the umbrella or at least bring the raincoat with the hood. Plenty of dry hours there through the morning hours into the afternoon, and then we've got the majority of the rainfall for the weekend all coming in late Sunday night, overnight into your Monday. So this is our morning commute on Monday, and we'll have likely rain on the radar.
You got some weekend plans. The way it pops, the rainfall, if it all happens at night and you got a chance to be outside on Saturday or Sunday, you know, if you don't mind a little cloud cover, maybe a little bit cooler on Sunday, it's not a complete washout for the weekend. There'll be times when you could be outside, especially on Saturday, and enjoy a little bit of sunshine. It doesn't turn out to be all that bad. It does mean, though, that those of you knowing that we changed the clocks this weekend, the sunset will happen closer to 7 p.m. on Sunday, but it's not going to be one of those picture perfect, take your camera out and take a picture of the sunset, because there's going to be a lot of cloud cover and there'll probably be some showers. You'll probably have to wait until Monday evening to get a decent sunset look once we get to those later sunsets. And daylight saving time always gets everybody excited because it does mean sunsets will be a little later in the day. But just one thing at home, it doesn't mean an extra hour of daylight, everybody, because what happens for all you sunrise lovers out there, the sunrises go back to after 7 a.m. on Sunday, and it will be darker longer in the morning.
Yeah, so just more of a time shift. I know a lot of people at home and people have voiced their displeasure with it on social media. People feel very passionately one way or another. I always just look at it as this is the way we've always done it. That's the way it is, and maybe they'll change it down the road. We don't know. We will see. That's up to the government folks to do that. But just clocks go forward an hour. Friendly reminder to change the batteries in your smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, and your NOAA weather radio. Always good to do that regularly, but this is a good reminder for that. You have to try and figure out how to change the clock on your microwave and the stove, and I wish my vehicle did it automatically. I know we do this every couple of months here. You got to change it one way or another, but yeah, that one always just, you seem to forget how to do it. But with the weather radios too, what we've seen at a lot of the programming events have been the corroded battery terminals, and that's a good way when you get that corrosion that it kind of shortens the lifetime of that expensive weather radio, running about 35 to 40 bucks these days. Long-term temperature trend here from the Climate Prediction Center, 6 to 10 days out. We are in the red, even the maroon color for parts of the area in 60s and 70s, maybe even flirting with 80s here. This is for the middle part of March. So if you like things a little bit warmer, some good news for you, and you'll see that reflected on your 10-day forecast. But our Matthew King, he did a story the other day. He talked to some local road work people, public works, that are out kind of on the pothole brigade, and talking about, how this time of year the potholes become more and more prevalent. You probably have one or two of your own on your street that you just hit just about every day to and from work and school. But here's a little story from Matthew King, and we'll talk about this when we get back.
Potholes are popping up. It's something no one wants to deal with.
A reoccurring problem every year. You go through, it's just a fact of life.
Especially Madison Public Works Director Kent Smith. He says right now is peak pothole season, with employees working around the clock to clear out as many as possible.
We have a crew that's what they do daily around the year primarily, but especially this time of year.
But why so often right now? He says the constant changes in the weather are to blame.
Wet weather, of course, and then the freeze comes after it, and it gets into the asphalt cracks, and then it freezes and it heaves up the asphalt, and then when it thaws, it leaves a void that starts the beginnings of a pothole.
A similar effort is happening in Huntsville, too.
When weather permits, sometimes when it's too cold, sometimes when it's too wet, we can't repair them the way that we would like to, but we will come back and do more permanent fix when weather does permit.
They both ask if you see a pothole in city limits, report it as soon as you can and keep your eyes out.
You see one, just do your best to use extreme caution when you're on the roadways. Look out for not just the traffic, but also for the road conditions as well.
Put your phone down, pay attention, watch the guy in front of you.
So as you just listened to Matthew's package, the potholes can be very frustrating. I drive on Pulaski Pike by Cave Street, going up that hill. I feel like I hit that pothole every single day I drive.
Yep.
You think I would learn by now that it's there, but I don't. I forget. I hit my truck, boom. and it's a pretty decent pothole. So the potholes are frustrating. The time change can be frustrating this time of year. And in March, the temperature swings can be a bit frustrating, but you get past this like transition month is what I call it. And then you start feeling a little bit more spring-like in April. And then, of course, the pollen count goes up and everyone sneezes. So there's always something.
There's always something.
There's always
We like
something.
to complain around these parts, and I'm going to be vocal about it just as much as you guys are. Yeah, but the potholes that you heard in Matthew's story there, the freeze-thaw cycle, which is so common this time of year. You get those nights like this morning, drop into the low 30s, get that ice build up, some of the groundwater starting to come out. But they do a great job keeping up with it. It's the best feeling when there's a notorious pothole and then you drive by it one day and it's filled. So
it is. You know, it's really funny too. One story I'll tell you real quick before you show you the 10-day forecast. I used to live up in New Hampshire, and we had frost heaves.
Oh.
And I had a little Mini Cooper, and there was this one of these winters where the temperatures were like way up and down. And there was a frost heave. I was coming down this one back road, maybe a little faster than I should have. And I caught like Mini Cooper Italian job air up and over this thing, bottomed that bottom of that Mini Cooper out. But that's how bad the frost heaves would get up in New Hampshire. So I know a little pothole action can be a pain in the butt, but you know, there's other places in the U.S. that have even more extreme temperatures and causes more in the way of damaged roads that can be a little bit different.
Being a native northerner, know that one all too well. And then you get the snowplows digging in too, and that just doesn't help anything. We are going to get to your 10-day forecast because we have a special edition of Tennessee Valley Living today, live from the field at the Home and Garden Show in Huntsville. So they'll have plenty of information on that. All right, here's your 10-day. Today, we're warming up quickly, 66, mostly cloudy, maybe even overcast, and it will be breezy. The 20% chance for rain, that is actually going to be overnight tonight into early Saturday morning. 60 degrees tomorrow, early sunshine. A lot of your Saturday dry. That's going to be more evening showers for Saturday, the 40%, and then some showers to start the day on Sunday. And the majority of the rainfall for the weekend is going to come late Sunday night, overnight into Monday. I'll be with you Monday morning at 4:30. We'll be tracking that rain in your morning commute. And then a nice stretch of 70s coming. The warmer you get, the more chances you'll have for rain, maybe a few storms coming too. And just kind of an early look at maybe Friday into the following weekend. It looks like we'll have our next chance of at least potentially significant rainfall and maybe some stronger storms getting into the more active months, of course, as far as our weather goes. So.
Yeah, any day in March that's not severe weather is a win-win-win. I don't care if it's a little cool or if it's a little cloudy, but if you can avoid severe weather, that's the most important thing this time of year in the Tennessee Valley.
So again, Peyton Walker and the TVL team live coming up here at 11. Jeff will have your weather updates as well as the newscast at noon with Gina Benitez. I'm going to go play some golf.
It's
fun. That type of day. Only the second round so far this year. We are way behind schedule. But for Jeff and myself, have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you.